Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another video of the Fight IQ series. This time we're starting off with Frankie Edgar fighting against Zabit Magomed Sharipov. And I had a lot of other fights with Frankie Edgar, but either the guy ended up rage quitting, right? Or it just wasn't competitive enough where, like, you know, not too many adjustments had to have been made to get the W. Whereas in this case, I'm fighting somebody who has a significant reach advantage, somebody who has grappling stats that can equal my own. And here, right off the gate, key thing that I like to do with Edgar or most grapplers, I like to initiate with a strike. If I see that hit stun, I will go for the clinch. And as you can see right there, go right for the takedown. Learning the clinch, it takes some time, but once you really understand the clinch, I have complimented the Daniel Cormier player in my last video. The clinch does a lot. But as you can see right here, notice I'm only striking to the right, to my left arm with my left hand against Zabit's right side. The reason I'm doing that is because his left hand was holding my head. If I would have thrown a strike to that side, he would have been able to go for a submission. So that's how you avoid the submissions to stack guard. Now watch this. For almost every single lead kick that Zabit has, he's able to spin right after it. And generally the one that people like to throw is that spinning side kick to the body. So I kept a mental note. Alright, this guy knows how to do that. Now the same thing with the Max Holloway that I fought before. I'm aware that I can sidestep that side kick to the body. So keep that in mind. As you can see, I managed to get the low single after my opponent with the combination. If you guys have seen my stamina tips video, when you're punching the air, you use more stamina. You're not hitting anything. You're wasting your energy. And not only that, but you also give grapple advantage to your opponent. So if somebody's punching the air in a combo and you have a grappler, that is the ideal time to shoot a low single if you have above 87 takedown offense. So throw that into your little notebook there. Here in half guard postured up, I like to play a little game. I like to pay attention to where my opponent is blocking or if he's trying to arm trap. And I either like to go body, body, head, or head, body, head. A pattern that's going to be hard for my opponent to kind of figure out. Now, he got the arm trap there, but I know I've dealt a good amount of damage. That's really the key thing here. I'm paying attention to the clock, and I'm trying to just get off little bits of damage. Even if it's landing on the forearms, that's still damage against his block. The block is really the arm health. It's not really block per se. It's really forearm health, similar to like UFC 2. And when I'm on my back, the key thing here is to maintain grapple advantage. I'm never going to strike with the hand that's holding the head, because if I strike with that hand, it allows my opponent to posture up and he can rain down strikes on me as well as I was doing to him. Back up on our feet. There's gloves. And here's the key thing here. After you grapple somebody, subconsciously or consciously, whether they know it or not, this tends to open up your striking because they become so worried in defending the grappling if they're the inferior grappler. Now, if there's somebody that can grapple even with you, they're not going to be too worried and they can still be composed there. You're letting loose with a nice little 12-piece combination that I like to keep to myself. Maybe I'll drop a video on how to like kind of string combinations like that, maybe not. But I saw the clock. I'm like, the chances of him being able to fire off a devastating counter and KO me when I let loose a string of combinations like that was significantly low. So I went for it. You know, pick and choose your spots where you want to do specific strikes. Like, another thing you want to throw in there. Best time to go crazy at the end of the round if you know you have a comfortable lead. Into the second round. And a lot of things that Zabit players like to do, they like to play this little footsies game where you're like waiting for you to come in, trying to get you to become impatient. They'll push you in, go for the knee, and there I sidestepped. And I saw that fatigued animation. When you see a fatigued animation right there from that body kick, also noting that I had sidestepped that previous kick, I knew that his stamina had to be low, and I was able to get that spear takedown. That spear animation happens when you have, I think 40% or 50% higher stamina than your opponent and you input a regular double leg and takes them straight into side control. Alright, that transition. The most popular thing that people like to do, I got the arm trap there. But the most popular thing people like to do when they're in top mount is punch to the with their left arm and then deny to the right. because people have a tendency to go the way that they're getting punched. So that's like a basic thing that people like to do. Again, with the arm traps, very good little equalizer. Forces you to be careful with your strikes, you know, when you're in top position. But here I know this guy isn't really going to pass guard. He's not really going to do anything, so I'm just letting the ref stand us up. Tap and tap and tap, and ref stands us up. Now watch right here. Don't touch gloves. And immediately he goes to the lead body kick. As I did before, I sidestepped. Smacked him with some good hooks after the sidestep to get the drop. And now I know he's concerned. Alternating to the body and head. His head health is low. I'm not allowing it to recover. I'm coming with a flurry of strikes. I know I don't have to see his HUD to know that his head health is low. So I'm just chipping away, destroying knees. I see that he's getting frustrated. Notice the sequence of strikes that I use to keep my opponent guessing. Now I know that he's recovering right here, but he just took 2 drops, so his head health isn't exactly the highest. Using the forward lunge, he tried to go to my body. He's rocked again. Going to the body, conditions him. He lets go of his high block. Followed up with a lead uppercut and a rear hook, and the fight is over. Whenever you kind of smell blood, it's generally a good idea to kind of just get your opponent worried about one thing to open up the other. If you notice, in that sequence, I was focusing a lot to the body, You know, getting shots at going 2, 3 shots to the body, and then maybe going 1 to the head. Because I knew his head health was low. He already just got dropped twice. So there was no need for me to rush, especially with the time that was on the clock, for me to rush that finish because I knew it was going to come. And I just kept, you know, he got a little bit of space, and I worked my way back in using the forward lunges. I managed to rock him one more time, and the fight is over. Frankie Edgar is really a solid pick in the featherweight division and even in the lightweight division because of that higher altitude perk. If you pick your shots correctly, and being that he has such high level boxing combinations, man, he's a problem to deal with. I'll tell you that much. The only thing that goes against him is his reach, but Frankie's always been known for his heart. He's always been known for his determination, and was pretty freaking fun to use here. Very fun to use here. Alright, so pick up what you will from that specific fight. Here we're getting into another fight in the light heavyweight division. And we're going with Cory Beastin 25-8 Anderson going against a Daniel Cormier player yet again. Now, DC in light heavyweight, no one to deal with. Not unbeatable, not crazy health stats like McGregor, but he's just a solid pick for anybody. And being that I'm the longer fighter with Cory Anderson, I don't necessarily want to be too much in the pocket here. And they got to be careful not to make too many mistakes. It's also his head movement stat isn't necessarily the best. So there I waited too long to fire off the counter. My opponent goes for a mistimed takedown, and he gets freaking sent to the earth. And I kept a note of that jab, trying to condition me to sway my head. So I'm keeping a mental note of that. I have to choose when I'm going to interrupt my opponent. Hit him with the pull counter. Now this fight is relatively somewhat high paced, but if you notice, when I'm exchanging with him, I'm not allowing my stamina to get too low. I'm alternating the shots with the rear uppercut to the lead body hook, sneaking those in, and I'm not going to overreact as much as I was before to these straight shots because I know I can't really afford to get hit in the pocket against Daniel Cormier. And I'm keeping note of these high kicks that he's throwing. And if you notice why that takedown was so quick, he was so close. I blocked that high kick. My grapple advantage was really high. So when somebody's throwing high kicks extremely close, your grapple advantage shoots up immediately. There, I believe I pre-denied half guard up, so he was able to get that sprawl get up. And then go 2 shots in the body, as I spoke before. I managed to get the drop. And I can see here my opponent's retreating. And unlike me, where I'm aware that most players generally shoot right after they block a kick, he's not really looking to do that. Looking to close the distance with jabs. And I do, and don't get me wrong, just because he has DC doesn't mean I don't want to clinch him. I just don't necessarily know how good he is with DC in the clinch. And he keeps cycling that jab, lead hook, straight combination. If I had anybody else, I think the slip straight would have worked better for me. Or maybe I could try a slip uppercut. But caught a kick. He's been throwing that switch kick for the majority of the fight. Was able to catch him and take him down again. Alright, so maintain top mount. So getting off to a rocky start. And now finishing the round strong. This dude, if I recall correctly, let me see, what was his name again? Okay, it's this guy. He was a guy that was, when the game had a lot of issues in terms of like unrealistic, how unrealistic the game was when it first came out. This guy was like one of the top guys at exploiting those mechanics. So I'm very surprised to see. Good on him to continue playing this game, but he's gonna learn his levels to this. He's gonna learn his levels to this very soon. Oh man, he's gonna learn his levels to this very, very soon. But stamina's looking good. His stamina not too well. There managed to duck the straight. Those are switch kicks to the body. And another thing, when somebody's throwing those body kicks at close range, they do not do as much damage as if they were in the proper range. So don't panic too much if you're getting hit by that body kick. So go to the body there. There, I keyed in that it was going to be a straight strike on that third strike after the jab lead hook. There, I fired off a little bit too soon. And he's firing off these single shots. And there, timing the head kick that he was throwing at me in round one. Due to the startup frames with rear head kicks in close range, the straight lead hook that I just used to drop him there is the best way to interrupt him. Now that he's circling and trying to recover like he did in round one, I was able to clinch him there. Wasn't going to allow him to get his head off back, and took the fight back down to the ground. That's another good time to clinch your opponent, because once they get hurt and they try to circle back away, you know, try to recover, that's the best time to clinch them, because now they got to worry about, like, man, now I got to worry about not getting put in the tie clinch. Now I got to worry about not getting taken down. And you could rack up, again, small strikes in the clinch if you get to single collar, and it can do some damage to your opponent. So I know that this fight, in a sense, I do have this fight under control, but just due to the certain mechanics about the game, I have to be aware that my health stats aren't necessarily up to par with DC's, and I'm prone to making mistakes just as much as anybody. I honestly thought he was going to look to get to double unders, and I pre-denied up, so he was able to get that hip toss on me. Transition to half guard, deny that top mount transition. And I don't want to transition too much underneath Cormier. Like I said before, the less you transition, the less stamina you use. If Daniel Cormier's on top of you and you start to transition a lot on bottom, your long-term stamina suffers a lot. And there I can tell you kind of pre-denied that. I don't know how I couldn't deny the half guard up. That half guard postured up. I was kind of confused how I was able to do that. Again, I just want to hold his head here. Denied it there. I'm not looking to transition. I'm just going to look for the ref stand-up. This is what you have to do if you're trying to conserve stamina. If you have a jiu-jitsu guy, then look to get to full guard. Then maybe if you're slick and somehow you can get backside, then look to get to backside or back sitting. But ideally, you want to get the ref stand-up. You want to build your grapple advantage and just deny. And right now, you can see that flurry of strikes that he was throwing tied in with the head movement that I was using to avoid his combinations. It's taxing on his stamina. And just blocking to the body, and he's just trying to recover here. The hook, and he keys in on me going to the body, so that's a good adjustment on his part. He managed to rock him back, and he makes a mistake and tries to lunge back while he's fatigued and gets hit by that body kick. So I knew that took a chunk out of his long-term stamina. He was already gassed heading into this next round. Now, if you guys saw what he rocked me with there, he went for a triple uppercut, right? Now he's going double uppercut. Now, 1, 2, 3. Pulled it back. He did all those uppercuts in early succession, and I used head movement to avoid that third uppercut. So I was able to get the spear takedown to slow things down and take this fight back there. Denies that transition. No, I tried it. Denied that. I'm just going to work to the body. I could have gone for the Japanese necktie there, but for those of you who don't know, a lot of the high-level wrestlers, they have wrestling transitions or get-ups level 5 or reversals level 5, 4 or 5. And for some of their denials, what happens is that they'll reverse you and then they'll end up in top position. So if he was on top of me and I would have timed that denial, I think I would have been able to get that side control. So I'm just going to be careful here. So I pick my shots, not force anything. And right there again, he's following up with those double uppercuts. And I keyed in on that and went for the slip lead uppercut. And there I don't really have to worry too much about DC. He doesn't have any arm bars. I pre-denied to the left to get the side control, rack up more damage to the head. Again, played that back. He was over-reliant on that double uppercut, triple uppercut sequence, and I was able to key in on that and use slipping to the inside of my lead leg to fire up a lead uppercut counter. So he manages to get up to his feet here. I know his body health is suffering. His stamina is suffering. Everything is just not going his way today. Gets a double under. Tries to throw high. If you see that specific animation where they're trying to get double overhooks, that means that fighter has a throw, like a lateral throw, to take you over their back. So you gotta just deny that like a regular takedown. Go back and watch that part of the clip where his hands are trying to get double overhooks to launch me back. You just got to go R2 and down to deny that. And guys like Edgar, Gaethje, Cormier, I think Jones has it as well. He manages to get up here. So his stamina's not looking too good. Rocking to the head body. One more body shot for good measure. And man, I told y'all. There's levels to this, boy. There's levels. But yeah, jokes aside, you know, there's a lot of on-the-fly adjustments there, especially because with Cory Anderson and the way Shinelf is in this game, it just takes a little bit of mistakes to get rocked. Like you saw, I got rocked, I think, 4 times in this fight. And I was fighting a pretty decent fight, but I managed to mix things up really well with the grappling, with the striking. And I didn't allow myself to get put in a precarious position where, if with guys like Cory, especially with his length, and he doesn't have as too many kickboxing combinations that he should have. No, I honestly think he should have a little bit more, but if you're looking to get points in the light heavyweight division, Cory Anderson is a pretty goddamn solid pick. Pretty damn solid. He's only a B, has great grappling, decent health stats, and okay striking. Managed to get the dub with him today. Unfortunately, he didn't get the dub that night against Jan Blachowicz, but guess what? You know, now we gotta go rock with Jan Blachowicz ourselves. And this time we're going against Alexander Gustafsson. I kind of found it funny that Jan is only 1 inch. His reach is only 1 inch lower than Gustafsson. That kind of threw me off. I didn't see that. He has not been done any justice in this game though. Like he's a B fighter, and Costa was done so much more justice to the point where he should have been an A fighter. Now I have to get this guy's it's with a specific tempo. But what this guy's doing, because Gustafsson has such high striking stamina stats, he's fighting like in sequence, right? So as long as his first 2 strikes land on my block or something, he's not using too much stamina because he's being accurate with his strikes. So that 3rd strike, right? And I have a bad habit of pulling the 3rd strike. But now if you watch here, I'm keying in on his sequence of combinations. Massive. Catch him as he's starting up. The time where people are vulnerable, they're at their most vulnerable when they're starting up a strike or right at the end of a strike. So I managed to catch him right before he started another string of combinations, which is good, and slow the fight down with some grappling to the ground. Fortunately, I didn't think I was holding on to top mount for that long. I thought I let go and he was able to get this reversal. But this is a good thing to show y'all. Right, so he's going for these fakes, right? You see that really short animation? The first two animations, they're really short, so I knew those were fakes. Once I saw that extended animation, I knew that was the real transition. And because I didn't bite on those earlier fakes, I had grapple advantage and I was able to reverse it. Goes for a spastic front kick. Like, honestly, Jan needs to be done a lot more justice in the next game. And I tried to duck. I think I ducked a little bit too soon. And he's doing a good job of delaying that head kick or body kick. And like I said before, if you're reactive, you have a harder time on the feet. If you're proactive, you do a much better job on the feet. So I felt one thing that was giving me trouble is I was kind of waiting too long. And just due to the stat disadvantage, it made things a lot harder to adjust to. But there, I'm starting to duck the body kick so I can get protected by my shoulders. And I was a little tell that he was going to start up a spin, and he goes for the spin. I didn't think he'd go for it. But if you notice, I'm taking less damage to the body because I'm ducking against it. Unfortunately, I exchanged a little bit too fast. And he goes for a jab, straight, lead uppercut. So then I realized, alright, this guy isn't just mindlessly throwing to, like, get something. There's actually a plan behind it, because he went and throws that jab, straight, lead uppercut. That means he's expecting me to duck, expecting one of his jab, straight, high kicks. But if you notice, the sequence of his strikes have been jab, straight, hook, hook, jab, straight, body kick, jab, hook, 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 and I think maybe the wombo combo. The good thing about this is that this is I believe this was a 5-round fight. Also, he's showing me everything in his arsenal right out the gate. Like he hit that little right there. That's the lead uppercut I was talking about from before. But he's showing me basically what his plan is right out the gate. I'm the type of player where, like, I don't try to show too much early, unless I'm fighting somebody where I know they know how to manage their stuff well. They know what they have planned for me, and then I know it has to be go time out the gate. But as you can see, even though he's the higher rated fighter with better stamina stats, our stamina is similar. And there, I thought I was going to be able to pull in time, but Jan's head movement stats are not good. And notice he's not letting his stamina recover. And I managed to catch him as he's starting up another string of combinations. That's the risk of playing the way that he was playing. You know, he's constantly throwing a string of attacks, not letting himself recover with his stamina. And as he went to start up another string, instead of hanging back and being reactive as I spoke of, I stayed proactive. And I stuck it. I tried not to move too far back. I didn't retreat as much as I was in the first round. And I landed a straight lead hook. Unfortunately, the replay couldn't show that. But yeah, that's it for the Fight IQ series, episode 3. Again, any suggestions for any fighters you guys want me to use, feel free to drop it in there in the comment section. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Show your friends if they're trying to learn some UFC 3. Got my playlist going up now too. Romero 17. I'm out of here.
He goes out the way he came in, and still, ladies and gentlemen, and nice to see this moment now as he celebrates with his corner.